Welcome to the show, Eddie Blow the Whistle. I want to start with Shane Gillis's ESPYs Monologue, which he was getting roasted pretty hard by like traditional media. It was awesome. If you were a sports fan and you like comedy, it was awesome. Because people in the room weren't comfortable doesn't mean it wasn't hilarious. People in the room were not comfortable at first because he went hard.
It was great.
It was A+. It was so good. He also wasn't mean. He roasted, but he wasn't mean. He didn't punch down. He was perfect for it. And I was so irritated watching some of the reviews like audience doesn't laugh during Shane Gillis's ESPY monologue because the audience was scared they were next. The audience was like, God, I hope he doesn't come at me. It was perfect. He was the perfect guy to do it. I'm going to play you some of the jokes. So why don't we go with the clip one? This is the Shohei. I don't want to run the joke, so go ahead and hit it, Mike.
Shohei Ohtani couldn't make it tonight. Man, I hope his interpreter didn't bet that he was going to be here. Shohei is a once-in-a-generation talent. No one's been able to do what he does at so many positions, pitcher, hitter, and bookie. A bookie is what Bill Belichick reads to his girlfriend before bedtime. Sugar Ray Leonard's here, hell yeah. Sugar Ray, you're the man, but what, in 10 years, Jake Paul is going to try to knock you out, so take it easy.
And this is near the end, so the crowd's kind of gotten into it at this point, and I'm just kind of playing some in order of where I... So this one is the one that people were upset, some people were upset about. This is the Caitlin Clark joke, the Waffle House joke. It was super funny, unless your little butt gets hurt at anything. Go ahead.
Caitlin Clark, she and I have a lot in common. We're both whites from the Midwest who have nailed a bunch of threes. All right, there you go. Lighten up a little. This is not serious. We'll see about this one. When Caitlin Clark retires from the WNBA, she's going to work at a Waffle House so she can continue doing what she loves most, fist-fighting black women.
Oh, dang, dude. They went hard on that one.
It's so funny. Okay.
Hey, the threes is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Nailing the threes.
My favorite joke, and I'll go ahead and get to it now. Do number 7. This is my favorite joke of the entire night, and I think people were confused a little while it happened, which was part of the joke.
4-time WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody. I'm joking around. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players. That's crazy. You clap for that.
That is so good.
That's my favorite joke of the night. Yep. The crowd's like, yep, yeah. Woo. Brittany Hicks.
I mean, I was even clapping, dude.
Brittany Hicks. Yeah. 4-time All-Star. It's an honor she's here.
That is crazy.
It's so funny. So let's do the clip 4, alien joke.
Joe Rogan actually wanted me to be here to host this award show so that I could capture Adam Silver because Joe thinks he's an alien. And Donald Trump wanted me to be here to capture Juan Soto for the same reason.
Oh, dang.
I think he got booed on that one.
Dude, he's going hard.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, it was perfect.
Hard.
Yeah.
It was pissing off a little group. A little bit of the group was like, I don't know if I should laugh because the camera's on me. And the other group just like dying laughing. And that was shifting throughout the whole crowd. Go ahead and hit the next one.
Donald Trump wants to stage a UFC fight on the White House lawn. The last time he staged a fight in D.C., Mike Pence almost died.
Oh, gosh.
The crowd, that one, they were like, ooh. That was a good one, too.
That was rough.
Excellent. One more.
Actually, there was supposed to be an Epstein joke here, but as it got deleted. Must have probably deleted itself, right? Probably never existed, actually. Let's move on as a country and ignore that.
He crushed. If you get a minute, like 10, go watch the entire monologue on TikTok. And you've heard a lot of the jokes. It is great. Couldn't have done better because there were enough uncomfortable people. And when you have that style, you can't judge how good or bad it is based on the reaction of the crowd. Because at the beginning of that, they were just, huh.
And you're so right with cameras there. You don't want to react.
And
In
there
certain
were
ways.
celebrities that wouldn't laugh, or you would see them trying not to laugh
Yeah.
because they knew the cameras were right on them. Because what happens when you're at an award show, you know where the cameras are because the cameraman has a camera on his shoulder and he gets right in freaking front of you.
Yeah, they don't zoom there.
No, yeah, it's not from like the corner. You know, at any point, they're probably going to show your face. Because it's happened when I've been to these award shows. If they're going to put me on or somebody next to me, they'll put the camera right on the shoulder and be right. And you're like, oh, God, I don't know what to do with my face. Oh, that joke's offensive, but it's really funny. What do I do?
Because then you'll look like a bad guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Lamar's head was down at one point. And they had the camera on him. And his head was down
on the Shadur.
Yeah.
He did a joke about Shadur Sanders. Did a whole thing where he was first. It was like, that's not nepotism because he went 13-12 and almost won the Alamo Bowl.
That's why his jersey was retired.
And Lamar's like, oh, yeah. He's like, his jersey's retired. That's not nepotism. Come on, look at the stats. He was 13-12 and almost won the Alamo Bowl. Yeah, it was good. Oh, I do want to play the clip of Shaq threatening RG3.
Ooh, that was intense.
Good.
He takes his sunglasses off too.
He does, man.
And
Looks
looks
right
in
in
the
the camera.
Yeah, Shaq was on a podcast recently and threatened to beat up RG3 because RG3 keeps coming at Angel Reese, but mostly it was about that retweet of the graphic that somebody did in really, really, really poor taste of Angel Reese. And RG3 didn't have to retweet that and make the comment. He really didn't.
Yeah.
And so Shaq says this on @JillianBow on Twitter's page. Here you go.
Oh, speaking of man, RG3, tweet another monkey post about my girl Angel Reese. I'm punching your face. Okay? It's enough. Like, I don't usually do stuff like this, but just stop it, bro. You got your job. You got your podcast. Leave my Angel Reese alone. I'm the one calling her and telling her not to respond. Stop it. That's the last time.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't want
Thank
Shaq
you.
coming after me.
No, I'm scared.
He wouldn't catch me if I'm RG3. But if he does,
Correct.
if he does, that's trouble. We had the All-Star game a couple nights ago, and I fell asleep and stopped watching after like the first inning. And we came in, and I had seen that they did the swing off at the end. I loved it.
Awesome.
I didn't watch it live. I would never watch anything that late live on a weeknight because unless it's Arkansas playing, because I gotta go to bed. But that was really cool. I wish they would do that in Major League games instead of extra innings.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That'd be fun.
What was bizarre to me, and again, I missed it live, so I'm not going to act like I was so diehard and I was up watching, having these thoughts. I watched it all in clips. The next day, I'm like, oh, this is super cool. It's basically home run derby at the end of the game. And what a fun way, because I said to Eddie, it was like penalty kicks in soccer,
Right.
which I think is the best part of a soccer match. Penalty
Yeah.
kicks, because they don't score any goals. We at least get some goals scored. And thought that was super cool, and that would be super cool if they implemented that in like the first half of the regular season. Because they're going to be like, well, we can't do this in meaningful games.
Right.
Fine.
That makes sense.
They do take the runner off second base in the playoffs
Yeah.
for extra innings. And people were way against that in extra innings at first. But if you just play extra innings with nobody on, those stupid games go 17, 18, 19 innings sometimes. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
They had to do something.
And baseball's already slow and thought of as boring. So I love for the first half of the year if they would do that swing off. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Secondly, and now I think everybody knows, but people were going, where's Ohtani? Where's Judge? Why aren't they the ones hitting the balls?
Yeah, because they go to the managers, right? Like, all right, American League, here's your manager, Boone. Like, who are you gonna have hitting? And he's like, name 3 people. Like, who?
Right.
Like,
right.
wait, you have Aaron Judge. Like, who? They're not there.
They're not there. They went home. I
leave
never
early.
knew they went home in the middle of the
That's
game.
Wild.
This is how I found out that the players leave in the middle of the game,
Yeah.
unless you may be the MVP. Then you stay. But you just go home.
Some dudes, like when the locker room changed their clothes and they were like in regular street clothes, came out and watched the game.
Yeah.
I get it. But if you
How
have nothing to
fun
do,
would it have been to see them in street clothes bombing balls?
That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
like they call them from the bleachers.
yeah.
That would have been sick. I propose, because again, baseball is not a sport that makes big changes or any change quick, but they are a sport now that starts to see young people don't care as much as they used to, and you're also seeing the Savannah Bananas sell out like crazy, impossible to get tickets.
Yeah,
so what are we
true.
going to do to grow baseball? Because we are seeing that baseball can be grown if done right. And I think one of the really cool things to do would be to make this, I'm not going to say the whole season, not going to say the playoffs. Traditionalists will have a freaking fit. The first half of the season leading up to the All-Star game, any game going into extra innings, you do the freaking swing off.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Absolutely.
It'd be awesome.
And then even as a fan, you're like, Because if it goes to extras, you're like, I'm out of here. I'm not going to stick around. Who knows how long this is going to last?
And how they did it too with like you get 3 swings is awesome. So cool. What was also cool too is
Did you watch it live?
I did. Well, I had money on it.
Oh, you bet it?
I had money. I had money on the American League. So when they came back, I'm like, I'm staying up to watch this thing. What was really cool though were the pitch reviews.
So I was going to bring that up next. So they did it before the season started. So in spring training. And so the ABS system.
Yeah, whatever that system is.
The ABS challenge system. I would love for that to be a permanent part of the game, but not with no ump. Because that just looks weird. If there's just a catcher and a batter. And I
Somebody
think
has to get hit by the ball back there.
Yeah, I think eventually, whatever robot ump, I think being able to challenge is great, especially with money now being bet. And I'm not the first person to say now that money's being bet on games, you need to get it right. When you can legally allow betting, you need to make sure the call is right. And that's what happened.
Yeah, it was so smooth.
Bottom of the first inning. I actually saw it being used because it was like the first inning of the game.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
There was even
a challenge
one,
on a call.
There was one where it was just a sliver of a hit of a strike. Like, I mean, dude, it barely touched it. But like, that's legit. It's real. You can't argue it.
I think umpires are needed. I like humans. I'm pro-human, by the way.
Oh, wait, me too.
I want everybody to know
That's good.
you can't be any more pro-human than me. But I do think balls and strikes for sure needs to be able to be reviewed because everything else can be reviewed. And if we want to do it the first half of the year, great, because we've done it in spring training. We do it in the All-Star game. Let's just see how it goes for the first half of the year. Actually make it in some games that matter.
Yeah.
I feel like the umps, you know, I'm not speaking for every umpire out there, but I feel like they like to be right. You know, they got a little bit of power.
It's
kinda
embarrassing.
hurt their pride a little bit.
Some have big egos.
It's ridiculous.
I think it's even ego aside, I think it kind of sucks if you're wrong anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a big ego person, like your job is to get it right. Let's take balls and strikes out of it. Let's say a tag at second. Out. All right, we want to review. And you go and review, you're just praying, oh my God, I hope I'm right.
And you were so animated too when you were like, out of there.
And then they come back and they're like, overturn the call. You know, that's even if your ego is not big, even if you're not the guy that is loud and large, you're like, oh, now I have to go admit in front of everybody that I was wrong at my job.
And they get graded after every game.
Yeah.
Like the MLB grades them and sees who does the best, who's most accurate. So that would suck.
That would suck a little bit, yeah.
I want to say it again. I'm pro-human. You can't be any more pro-human than me.
Thank goodness, dude.
Yes.
I'm glad you are.
So, but I think the umpires serve a purpose behind home plate, just not to have full authority of balls and strikes. They can call balls and strikes, but I think you should be able to challenge.
Yeah.
And we got to have coaches be tossed still. That's fun.
That's great.
Of course. That's
My
the best part of
favorite
the game.
are the clips when the coach is like, just throw me out.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick some dirt. John, just kick me out of here.
Yeah.
I really need to do a scene here.
Aaron,
Tell Sally I say hi.
Yeah,
all right?
just,
I'll see you for dinner later on,
See you
right?
in Cleveland.
they'll walk out and their mouth's covered at first a little bit so no one can read their lips. So John Boy can't read their lips or anybody else. Like, all right, you got to just get me out of here, man. You mother...
Yeah.
Out of here. So I did think the game was fun because they got to wear their old their normal uniforms.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
They haven't
always
done
cool.
that in like 6 or 7 years. So it hasn't, but when we were kids, that's all they did. They wore the original uniforms. And it was so cool to see your guys on your team make the All-Star team.
Yeah.
So the All-Star game was great. Like baseball's doing a pretty good job at trying to Snell-like move forward a bit instead of just staying the same, which was making them fall back. Pitch clock, great. I like
Eliminate the shift. They did.
They did
Good job
eliminate
with
the
the
shift.
offense. Yeah.
Although, you know what? The shift
Shift
is kind of a strategic move.
Yeah, man.
Of all I'm pro-human. I'd like to say I'm pro-human.
yes.
But
Preface, yeah.
I didn't really hate the shift.
I didn't either.
Just be a better hitter.
And I don't understand, like, everyone's moved to the right. You're wide open on the left. Can't you just, like, come on. Just hit the ball that way a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. Learn to hit opposite field.
You're a pro.
You know, you're one of the greatest hitters in America, or you wouldn't be in the major leagues. Maybe learn how to hit opposite field.
Wide open over there, man.
Swing a fraction of a second late. That's all you got to do.
Maybe it's harder than we think, but I don't know.
Probably, Eddie. Probably.
British Open, you keeping up with it?
Yeah,
When we do
man.
the show, I don't keep up with it at all. I guess you do while we do the show.
It's on, and, you know, we got a break. I look over.
I'm talking about the morning show this morning. It started this morning.
Yeah. I mean, dude, by the time, like, we're rolling in the show, I think the first group's already done. Like, I don't know how early it is over there, but it's crazy that half of the tournament or the day round is pretty much done when America's starting to roll out of bed.
Yeah, it's like football. when
I
it's in
know,
London.
but but
Time zones, you know, man.
I've heard of them.
Yeah.
But Sundays is a little different, right? They do roll it out a little later. But it's probably on Sunday, the final round, it'll probably start at 9 a.m. for most of us.
There's also a cut.
Yeah.
And less players. So you don't have to cram everybody on as early.
But I haven't watched any of it, but I hear that like the weather's really bad.
Awesome. That's how I want that. I want that to be so difficult. I want it to be like the U.S. Open where the rough is like 10 feet tall. I want it to be corn stalks. And then I want the weather to be so bad. It's like when you're playing Tiger Woods and you're having to adjust the arrow because the wind's 7 miles an hour. I want them adjusting their arrows live.
Yep. Yeah.
I want it to be raining.
Yeah.
I want the weather to just kick them right in the balls.
Rory's first 2 tee shots, boom, shanked them.
He was plus 750. He was a favorite to win it. Where is he now?
I'm not sure.
And again, when you hear this, the day one, maybe even day two will be over. But
Did you bet?
I didn't.
Do you bet pre-round ever? Like for these majors?
Almost never.
That's the best odds, man. I know it's like just throw a dart in the like.
Oh yeah, best odds because there's so many.
But
He's 2 under right now. So
Who's leading as of right now?
Oh, good luck.
Okay.
Good luck.
And HT Lee and Fitzpatrick.
Can't win it on day one. Can lose it on day one though.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually bet it on Saturday.
Do you kind of look at who's leading on Saturday and then?
Yes, and I never bet the person leading because usually the odds aren't good. But I'll bet somebody like 5th or 6th, 7th, or a known name at like 11th or 12th
That's it.
because I can get pretty good odds, and they have consistently played well the last weekend, or they wouldn't be famous and
Yeah.
successful. So that's usually what I look at.
Yeah, same. Like I'll wake up on Sunday mornings before the last round starts, and I'll look at the leaderboard, and if like Scheffler's up by like 10, I'm not touching it. You know, like that's over. But if like he said, Borgen Sorensen is leading first.
Yeah.
Felt a little racist toward the Muppet Chef right there. The Swedish Chef Borgen.
And there's another guy named Smith, second. I'm going with a big name at like 3rd or 4th. Always.
Let's take a break. We'll come back in just a little bit and talk with Stewart Mandel, who is the editor-in-chief of The Athletic. We're going to talk college football and NIL, and we'll get into the weeds with that. Give us a second. We'll come back here. Supposedly drinking Korean pear juice before drinking alcohol results in a 20% improvement in hangover symptoms. I don't drink, so I've never had the history of trying to find the hangover cure. What do you find to be the best for a hangover, Eddie?
So if you want to be proactive, this is what I've learned through all my years of drinking. Have 1 drink of alcohol, 1 drink of water. 1 drink of alcohol, 1 drink of water, and you will get rid of that hangover. You won't even have the hangover. However, if you don't do that, which I get, party situations, you're not thinking of getting water. The next day, headaches, it's hurting. You feel like death in your bed. Menudo, man. Go to a Mexican restaurant on Sundays and ask for menudo.
If a random white person walks in that's never been in the Mexican restaurant by themselves, looking a little torn and tattered, will they know why they're asking for menudo?
Of course. They won't even ask like what you want. They'll be like, I know what you came in for.
See.
Long night.
Kevin, you're from a different part of the world.
Yeah, yes, I am.
Because I feel like
Where are
these
you
all,
from, dude?
California.
I feel like these are all based on like the culture you grew up in.
Yeah, that's fair. I
Because
mean,
nobody in Iowa is going to find some menudo.
Well, they should. They
Only
will
if
now.
you're in like South Texas, Arizona, Mexico.
yeah. I used to give my buddy a bunch of crap, Eddie, for drinking a water in between every single drink. So
Oh, was that weak?
kind of upset to hear you say that, but I think you're just getting older, and I'll be there in a little
Smart.
bit.
Older, smarter.
I know it is. I agree. It is smarter for sure, but we never learn, do we? I use Alka-Seltzer. I think Alka-Seltzer is the best. Like when it comes to hangovers, number 1 is sleep. If you can get sleep, that's the number 1 thing. And then you wake up, Alka-Seltzer, which they actually have hangover pills now. I haven't even tried it yet because they caught on. I think everybody likes it, and it does the trick. So good. The tablets, you drop them in the water.
No, we've heard of it.
Okay, just waiting.
Let me get. If this is
You're both looking at me like
Because I've never heard of Alka-Seltzer as a hangover cure.
because I'm from a different part of the world, dude. That's what we do over there.
California way, baby.
Wow.
But when you say like sleep though, like do you mean like if you drink all night Friday, Saturday's done, like you're just in bed all day?
No, like say you go to sleep at midnight. Like if you could sleep till 7 or 8, money.
AM?
Yeah. Like if you can get 7 or 8 hours of sleep, but if I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep, ooh, it's gonna be a rough one.
why do you think? And I had to look it up because I don't know. I've never looked at the science because I've never needed the science. Why do you think people get hangovers?
Dehydration.
Okay, that's both of you guys went with that hard.
Absolutely, because alcohol just sucks all that water out of you. Like, dries you up.
So that is a part of it, but not the biggest part.
My mom always said potassium.
Now, I'm not the expert. I literally looked this up, so I'm not going, I can't believe you guys don't know. I didn't know.
Like, seriously, my mom would be like, here, mijo, here, have banana. You need potassium because you have a hangover.
So here is the answer from ChatGPT. People get hangovers because alcohol messes with your body and brain in a bunch of ways at once. Here's a breakdown of why you feel so awful.
Oh, no.
Sleep disruption. Even if you pass out, alcohol messes up your sleep quality. You skip REM sleep, and that leads to brain fog, fatigue, and moodiness. So that's part of it. And what you're going to see is it's a collection of things. It's a big stew.
Okay. A menudo.
No, well, yes. Use a stew to fight a stew, I guess.
Yeah.
Ricky Martin?
Next up, toxic byproducts. As your liver breaks down alcohol, it produces a chemical called acetaldehyde, which is even more toxic than the alcohol itself. Your body eventually clears it, but not before it makes you nauseous, sweat, and feel very bad. Next, dehydration. Alcohol is a diuretic, which means it makes you pee more. You lose fluids and electrolytes, which leads to symptoms like dry mouth, headache, and dizziness. Your blood sugar drops. Alcohol messes with your glucose levels. The crash in blood sugar can make you weak, shaky, and hangry. 2 more. Stomach irritation. Alcohol increases stomach acid and irritates the lining of your stomach, which adds to nausea, vomiting, stomach pain. That's where the vomiting comes in. And finally, just general inflammation. Alcohol triggers an immune response that can make you feel achy, unfocused, and just generally sick. A hangover is your body's way of saying, you poisoned me a little bit, and now you're going to pay. But it's because of a whole lot of different things happening in your body, not one single factor.
So no potassium level, like mom said?
I'm sure not having the appropriate amount of potassium isn't able to fight the toxic byproducts.
But it's not
I'm
on
sure
your list over there.
I didn't make the list, not my list. But yes. So there's a little education.
Dude, what's crazy, when you were reading that list, what stood out was the multiple times that you go pee. Like, it's crazy how as soon as you start drinking, you got to pee. Like, there's... Like,
you break that seal, right?
Like, you have 20 gallons of water in you.
If you know you're going to be in a crowd or somewhere tough to get out to go to the bathroom, you don't pound beers.
And if you're not drinking and you have to pee, you can hold it. Not a big deal. When you're drinking and you have to pee, you cannot hold it.
Sometimes you just go.
Well, they do say, again, that Korean pear juice before drinking alcohol. And if you're the guy that's like, pull over and you get some Korean pear juice before we get to the party, you're probably going to get made fun of. I'm going to put that out there.
Where do you get a Korean pear juice?
Korea, obviously.
Okay.
I've mentioned this a couple times in different places, but we've been watching a show called The Kingdom. Anybody watch that on Netflix?
Mm-mm.
It is a South Korean zombie show.
Ooh.
It's good. It starts off a little slow, but we put English subtitles and we make them speak English. But what's crazy is they actually speak with really thick Korean accents.
Oh, really?
So they're speaking English, but I would do an impression, but I don't want to get.
That's smart.
I don't even feel.
do it.
I don't even
waiting
feel
for
like
it.
that's racist because I'm just literally doing an impression.
Just not risk it.
Well, and you're pro-human.
It's not risk it, and I'm pro-human.
Yeah.
I'm pro-Korean.
Yes.
South anyway.
Yeah.
And so, but they do Korean accents, and I thought to myself, well, that's weird. They're doing really South. And then I thought to myself, well, if I heard some guy with a Southern accent overdubbing a Korean, yeah, Marge, watch out for that zombie.
Gonna get us.
I might think that would be weird. It's good. Episode 1's a little slow, but by the time it's only 6 episodes for 2 seasons, by the time you get like 3 in, it's awesome.
Really?
If you like zombie shows, I think you'll really like it. If you're into like swords and stuff.
Yeah.
What was the Tom Cruise movie he did, Mike, where he was like a sword fight? Last Samurai?
Yeah.
If like you like that kind of fighting and stuff, you'll like it.
Was that a good movie, Last Samurai?
I don't know. I don't watch it. I don't know the name of it.
Pretty good movie.
It was?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Okay.
But it's good.
Okay.
I recommend it. Hey, I see Rod walking around. Tell him I'll be out in like 8 minutes if he's around there. All right, boom, there he is. Kevin wants to admit he was wrong about the Red Sox.
Love it.
I do. It's taken me a while to get here. I still have not watched one single game since they traded Devers.
You're not, though. No games.
I have not watched
But
one.
nor will you. You said no games for you.
So I was wrong.
No.
I was obviously wrong. They've won 10 in a row going into the All-Star break. And
ever since Trump was there, they haven't lost.
I know.
Oh, could that be
The
it?
Boston Trump Sox.
Exactly. Exactly. And I've had the biggest FOMO, like watching little highlights, walk-off home runs, team going crazy, everyone having fun, the crowd's into it. My brother's texting me. I'm like, leave me alone. And I have to say, I think I was wrong that they made the right move trading Devers. Obviously, the clubhouse and the entire locker room is a better place. Players are playing better. The team's playing better. And all of a sudden, now they're in the playoffs. If it started today, that's freaking awesome.
Wow.
So if I admit I'm wrong, can I go back to watching them?
You can do it anyway.
Yeah, dude. It's your life.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, guys.
You don't know us anything,
It's
man.
your morals.
Yeah, man.
I know I'm just sitting there, I'm like, dang, can
I want you to do it. I'm pro-human. I want you to do
Yeah.
it.
You are. You are pro-human.
Perfect.
I'm
Thanks,
pro-human.
guys.
Isn't that amazing though that like a team they know what's right for them instead of the fans that don't know anything about what's going on inside.
Says a Cowboys.
Says a Cowboys fan. Yeah, complains about everything.
I don't complain, man.
Yeah, you do it and you know what they should do. You know how they should do it. Why didn't they do this?
Have you seen Dak? He looks ripped and ready to go, dude.
Yeah.
He should be.
He looks good.
Healthy?
Healthy. He says he's ready to go. And I don't know if he's just working out. He looks good. I don't know how he can throw the ball, but he looks good.
Are you watching him throw the ball?
No, there's
No
just
clips?
a picture he posted. And I was
Oh.
like, dang, dude. Dude's been hitting the gym.
What do you mean you don't know how he can throw the ball?
No, I don't know how he's throwing the ball
Oh, okay.
because I'm not seeing those clips.
I thought you said like physically you don't know how he can throw a ball.
no. With all those muscles.
Like, is he that jacked?
No,
Too many
no.
muscles.
You know who else looked good working out was Ben Simmons.
Oh.
He'd always posted videos. Ben
In the
Simmons
lab.
in the lab. Yep.
What do you
Be
mean
like,
by
this is the year for Ben Simmons. All the other years, let's forget about him.
why are you comparing those two?
Just that the internet would lead us to believe, based on the images that we saw, that Ben Simmons was really going to turn it around this year.
Got it.
Didn't quite happen.
Got it.
Yeah, that's it. We'll come back and talk to Stewart Mandel. We'll talk college football coming up next. All right, now we're going to go over and talk with Stewart Mandel, who is the editor-in-chief for The Athletic. Go to theathletic.com to read his articles. Also does a podcast called The Audible. I really enjoy his writing, and we're going to talk about NIL, and we're going to all the stuff that you may think is boring, we're probably going to talk about here because I do not find it boring at all, and I'm a massive college football fan. So here he is. Follow him on Twitter at @SLMandel. Here he is, Stewart Mandel. Hey, Stewart, big fan of your work. Really appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me.
I do want to start with this because I saw you post the article just this morning, and it was basically about collectives and how NIL now is going to be coming through the school, except it's not really NIL. It's what's happening right now because I almost can't keep up with it.
Yeah, it's very hard to keep up with, but the House settlement got approved last month, and so that allowed the colleges to go through with this plan they had twofold. They can now share revenue directly up to $20.5 million the schools can share with their athletes. But also they've set up this clearinghouse, NIL Go, that has to approve these outside deals. And collectives have obviously dominated the NIL space for the last few years. That's where athletes get most, if not all of their NIL income. And the commission came out with a statement saying collectives don't serve a valid business purpose. Their deals are not going to get approved. They were already prepared. The collectives were already prepared to have their deals more closely scrutinized for fair market value. But this was kind of a step or two beyond that. They're saying it doesn't matter what the compensation is, or even if it's for valid activities, autograph sign. They pay the athletes to do autograph signings or go appear at a golf tournament or whatnot. They don't care. They think collectives are just a front for pay for play, and they're not going to approve the deals.
But aren't they? And I say that as someone who was a part of one. And so I've been involved as someone who donated and worked with a collective. And now I do NIL money and deals with athletes to actually do things because I know the new rules up to like $600, et cetera. It has to be reported up to $600. But really, weren't collectives exactly what you're saying they are?
In terms of pay for play?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things where it's not even a secret at this point, right? Everybody knows that's the intention. And that's why this commission is coming down and saying, these are not valid business. Basically, they're saying it's not a valid business attempt if you're paying an athlete to promote your product so that the collective can make money to then give to the next wave of athletes, right? It's not, they don't think that's legitimately for goods and services for a for-profit company. But that doesn't mean it's gonna fly. The lawyers for the plaintiffs in the House settlement, as soon as that memo went out, wrote back and said, this is not part of the settlement. You don't get to decide who is or isn't a valid business. And if you don't retract that, we're going to take it back to the judge. So we're waiting to see if anything comes of that.
I guess my final question on this, and I am very interested in it, is that don't you think eventually this just ends with this collective bargaining agreement with the players and the GMs and the athletic directors, almost like we see in pro sports, but not quite?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you hear a lot in regards to this salary cap, right? Like in the athletic directors and commissioners' eyes, this is a pro sports model now where there's a hard cap and you can't go beyond it. But the people on the other side that would say the difference is in the NBA and the NFL, they collectively bargained that cap. The athletes agreed to that cap. This was negotiated through a lawsuit settlement that I'm guessing most of the athletes weren't even aware of, right? So I do think some form of collective bargaining is coming at some point, whether that comes through the courts, Congress, whatever that may be. But right now we're kind of in that limbo state, I think, where they're trying to kind of get away with both. There's a salary cap, but there's no union, there's no collective bargaining.
So let's just pivot over to college football specifically. Where does Nick Saban coach now?
I mean, obviously that was the big hot story this week at SEC Media Days. I wouldn't necessarily assume that that's going to be the case. I mean, he's going to be 74 by the time this next coaching carousel comes up. And, he's not a fan of NIL and transfer portal and whatnot. So does he really want to get back in and deal with that? But certainly if he decides he is, and look, his guy is Bill Belichick, who's basically doing the same move right now. Anybody with a coaching opening would obviously want him. And so when you look at the schools that might have a coaching opening this coming year, the one that really stands out to me is Oklahoma, if Brent Venables doesn't have a big year, because that kind of meets all the Nick Saban checklist. It's a powerhouse program that you can win national championships at. It's a huge, rabid fan base. And you're in a state where you're really the only recruiting power, right? Oklahoma State sometimes gets recruits they want, but not very often.
The rumor was for a while that Nick Saban was going to run whatever body was over the NIL or the portal. He was going to be like the King Dingley of college football. Has that kind of passed by now?
It's interesting. That was never possible, obviously, in the traditional model. But they've set up, now they actually have this thing called the College Sports Commission, which would seem to be, ripe for a commissioner. But right now they hired an executive from Major League Baseball to oversee that. And look, Nick Saban's got a pretty cushy gig now, right? You're on game day. You get to still be part of college football, travel to games without the headaches of having to deal with the actual issues in college sports.
If we talk about the college football playoffs and we look at last year, Boise State gets a bye, and based on the system, that's exactly how it should have been. Did you like how it was, or are you for we're going to rank them as they are and let them fall in as they are?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where we're headed. I think that's already been changed. The whole thing about the CFP is that it was devised before the Pac-12 fell apart. So the idea that the 4 highest ranked conference champs would get the byes, you figured those are going to be pretty highly ranked teams because you'd be doing the 4 out of the 5 power conferences. But now that's no longer the case. And so last year, it just so happened that Boise ended up finishing ahead of, the ACC champ Clemson, which kind of got in at the last second. So they've already changed that. This year it'll be the top 4 seeds, regardless of conference. And I think you can assume those will probably be teams from the Big Ten and SEC.
You think the Pac-12 will ever be a thing again? They are adding new teams. We saw Texas State just went in, but do you think that'll be will it go back to Power 5?
That'd be nice, but if you look at the lineup they have coming forward, right? You have Oregon State, Washington State, and then you have a bunch of Mountain West schools, and so they're probably closer to the AAC. In fact, they are closer to the AAC than the power conferences. My hope is that one day saner heads will prevail, even if it's not in football, right? Football doesn't involve that much travel. But I think the shame of this, what happened is these West Coast schools are sending their basketball teams, their volleyball teams, their you name it teams all the way across the country to play matches. And those aren't the things that are making the money. I'm hoping saner heads will prevail at some point, and you can separate West Coast football from West Coast, all the other sports, and get Stanford and Cal and USC and UCLA and the Arizona schools and the Oregon, Washington playing each other again like they should.
Well, it's not unprecedented to have a school play football without a conference like at Notre Dame and then play basketball in a conference. I mean, eventually, probably just logistically, that would be where it falls. Are they doing anything to actually make that happen yet, or are we just talking about it?
It's not anything imminent because these TV contracts that the conferences have are all in place for many years at this point. I mean, including The ACC's goes well into the 2030s. So it seems like the lineups you have now will be the lineups for the next at least 5 to 6 years. But I think there'll be another big shakeup. The Big Ten contract comes up, I think, in 5 years. Around that time, a couple of the others do as well. So if you're looking at a next big change to the structure of conferences, you would look to that.
You think Notre Dame joins a conference in football at all?
They really have no reason to. The system is set up well for them. Now, we'll see what happens with this expanded playoff that they're already talking about. If the Big Ten has their way, most of those berths would become automatic berths for the conferences. And then if you're Notre Dame, you have to look hard at that. But as long as you have the current system where there's a lot of at-large berths, and now, by the way, they can host, they can get a bye, right? They couldn't get it before when those were conference champs. There's really nothing they would gain necessarily from joining a conference.
If you were able to make rules regarding the transfer portal, what rules would you implement?
I actually think the NCAA had a really good rule as of a few years ago, which is everybody gets one exception where they can transfer and play right away. If you want to transfer again after that, you have to sit out a year. Problem is, and this is the case, right, with a lot of NCAA rules now, somebody sued and a court struck it down. And now we have unlimited transfers, which I don't think are good for anybody. I don't fault a player for wanting to start over at a new opportunity. That's their decision. That's their life. But the idea that every player in the country is a free agent every single season there's nothing, really to discourage them from doing so, is bad for the schools. It's bad, I think, for the athletes who it's really hard to develop in your career if you're playing for a new coach and a new system every single year. You
mentioned Brent Venables at Oklahoma. You didn't say the words hot seat, but they're looking for him to succeed. I have family. They're massive Oklahoma fans, so I'm close to that situation a bit. Who else are these high-profile coaches that need to win now?
I think there's several in the SEC. Start with Hugh Freeze. Auburn fans are notoriously not patient, and he's had a rough couple years. And some people think they'll be a lot better this year. Some people see it and go, the quarterback that they got, is he really that much better than the guy they had before? So him, Billy Napier won some people back at the end of last year at Florida. But if they were to start out bad again this year, like they did last year, I think you would start to hear that again. And then you've got coaches who theoretically would be on the hot seat, except they have these enormous buyouts. Brian Kelly, Lincoln Riley in particular, coaches that if they don't perform well this year, the fans aren't going to want them back. But is the school willing to pay 50, 60, even 70 something million dollars to buy them out?
That's something a collective could do, right? Just buy out coaches.
Use the money on them instead, right?
Yeah, that's what I would say. Like, if you're so passionate about it, just buy out the coaches.
A&M set the precedent, right? Price of oil was great at the time. They were able to pay $75 million to buy out Jimbo Fisher. I mean, the crazy thing is that they agreed to these contracts in the first place. When USC hired Lincoln Riley, they gave him a 10-year contract, and it's never been fully made public. It's a private school, but believed to be $11 million a year, fully guaranteed. There was absolutely no way to get out of this if he didn't do well. I think they just assumed he would because he'd done so well at Oklahoma, and now they might be stuck with him.
Do you think a bit, because we saw this with Deshaun Watson in Cleveland where they gave him all that money, guaranteed money, and that really changed, where owners now are going, we're not doing that, because we just saw one really bad example of it, because he gets hurt, he has all the trouble, like it seems like a bad dude. So they're not doing that at all, and now there's the drama, like were they conspiring behind the scenes to not give anybody guaranteed contracts? Do you feel like these college coaches, what's happened at Texas A&M, what's happening now at USC, where they really can't get out of it, do you think these situations not being positive will affect future contracts with coaches?
Well, on the one hand, all of these schools are facing a challenge. There's an extra $20.5 million budget item now to pay the players. You got to cut back somewhere. So it would make sense. Okay, we're gonna stop throwing money at these coaches. And yet, as soon as a school, has a coach they really want to get, they do it anyway. I mean, Brent Venables is a good example. They gave him a big extension after his second season when he really hadn't done much yet. And so he went and had a bad third season. I still think if it came to it, they would cut him loose this year. But these schools that it's one thing if you're trying to steal a coach away from another school and you have to make it worth his while. But what we see time and again is schools just going ahead and giving him a big raise. Mike Norvell, after that great season 2 years ago, Florida State got a new contract, $10 million a year. They go out and they go 2-10 last year. They regret that big contract now. So to your question, I mean, we'll see. We've yet to see that trend change yet. Maybe it does now because of the new variable with the revenue sharing.
What do you think the expectation is for Bill Belichick?
Yeah, that's a great question. Is the expectation different now than it was when he was hired? Because when he was hired, certainly a lot of proponents of the hire think, hey, he's going to come in, he's going to flash his Super Bowl rings, recruits are going to come running, they'll be very good. The way the offseason has gone, the Jordan Hudson storyline, I think a lot of people now are thinking, was this really a good idea? I think if they just go to a bowl game the first year, and people realize it takes a little time to turn around a program. So the first year you kind of get a free pass, unless you go 3-9. And then everybody's going to say what a disaster this is.
You feel a little bit, though, like people will have less patience because you can turn a program around so fast because you can't actually just write checks?
Well, I think, when I started covering this sport, it was you need 4 years to turn it around. Then it became 3, and then it became 2. I don't think we're seeing the pressure yet to do it. And I mean, Deion Sanders is a great example, right? First year was not great. People are saying, this is a disaster. Then they had a really good season last year. But I do think that's the limit. Nobody wants 2 bad seasons in a row now because of exactly what you said. You can turn over your whole roster now through the portal. And so you don't need 3 or 4 high school classes to come in. You can turn it around really quickly. First years are tough for many reasons. You get a late start on recruiting. And it's just, you're completely changing the culture. Are the players going to buy in? So, I think people still are at least reasonable enough to realize it's going to take more than 1 year, but not more than 2 years.
Final question for you. I was looking through the quarterbacks, and Drew Aller, Penn State, or Nussmeier, or DJ Lagway, or Cade Klubnik, who looked really good against Texas until they ended up losing that game. Like, he went down to Austin and played really well. Is an Austin kid, too. Like, there are a lot of really good quarterbacks. Who, in your mind, is your favorite for the Heisman way too early?
Obviously, everybody's going to say Arch Manning. The problem for Arch Manning is the expectations are so high that I feel like if he just has a good season, but not an amazing season, people might turn on him. I do like Cade Klubnik's chances, and here's why. First of all, he's really good. I think it snuck up on people last year toward the end of the season how much better he got. Clemson is, to me, the class of the ACC. Maybe Miami's close. Probably not. If they can beat LSU in that first game, he kind of vaults to the front of the list, and then I think stays there, or at least stays in the mix most of the season. Obviously, Texas is preseason number 1, but again, because expectations for Arch Manning are so much higher than they are for Cade Klubnik. I mean, let's say they lose to Ohio State the first week, and everybody can say, "Oh, he's overrated. It was just his last name." I think that's what that's the biggest hurdle for him in terms of Heisman contention.
Stewart is the editor-in-chief for The Athletic, and also check his podcast out with Bruce Feldman called The Audible, wherever you get your podcasts. A big fan of your work. Was reading your article this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking some time and talking with us. Really, and hope you have a great day. Thanks, Stewart.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks. See you, Stewart. Really appreciate your time. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Thank you guys for being here. I will say that I went and I got my tooth fixed, and then I was flossing, and it broke off again.
Oh, my goodness. Do you get your money back for that?
No, I'll just get another tooth put on.
How hard do you floss?
That's what my wife said. She's like, "What are you doing? Were you going at it in there or what?" I
do you use floss or do you use the picks?
Both, and I floss probably like 5 times a day. So because I do that, I think I've probably worn my teeth down. Not only that, when I first started making any sort of money where I could save, I bought teeth. That was my first thing where I was
like a hobby?
What do you mean?
Well, you buying teeth for a hobby?
Like memorabilia?
What do you mean?
No, like what's weird is when you get teeth, they shave all your other teeth down.
Whoa.
Like that's how veneers work. They shave all your real teeth down, and my teeth were messed up. And they shave them down, and then they put the veneers over the top of them. And so, but I did that, and I remember this is like 10 years ago. The dentist was like, "Hey, in like 10 years, you're going to have to get these replaced. Like these are not forever. They're worth about 10 years. Isn't that what they said to people that get boob jobs? Like these aren't forever. Like you have to get them fixed.
Yes.
And I remember thinking, well, 10 years will never come. Who cares about 10 years? I just neglected to do it. And so I think part of it is my nonstop flossing, and part of it is the teeth are getting a little older. And some of them I've had replaced because I've cracked them. But like, there's just As you can see, it's gone.
Yeah.
But it's really affecting my thuds in my. So all day long, I've like struggled because you make sounds, and everybody knows this, but you don't think about it until it's actually affecting you, where your tongue hits the top of your mouth and your teeth. But my
You sounded great today.
there were times where I was just, I could feel it, and I probably feel it a little more. It's like when you have like a little cut in your mouth or something. It's the fucking thuckathat.
Who are the team baseball team in Chicago?
Thuffer and thuckathat. The Chicago Cubs.
No, the other one. The other
The
one.
Chicago White Sox. So my dentist went on vacation though.
Oh no!
I know. I texted him. He's awesome, and I was like, "Hey, my tooth. Sorry about that. I probably flossed a little too early. I think he actually said don't do it for a day or so. But you know me, I'm just letting it rip.
there.
So I texted him. I was like, "Hey, it doesn't hurt, but I do talk a little funny, and so we'll get it fixed next week." But so if I've sounded a little weird or a little thicky, by the way, I said thucker and thuckathash, not a bad word.
Right.
No.
Because
That's
there are people that'll highlight sounds, just single sounds from me doing years and years of shows and podcasts. And they'll take it and be like, you said the F word here. You said you don't cuss. First of all, I don't have a problem with cursing. So even if I did, I'm okay with it. But I didn't because I don't.
You really don't.
I don't. I don't even in the privacy of our own homes, like Eddie and I are doing it. I don't even in the privacy of our own homes.
But we're in a room together,
Yes.
a dark room alone.
But I don't do it.
Closet together.
I don't not curse for you. I not curse for me. So if I do decide to curse, who cares? I'm only not doing it for me. I think cursing's hilarious.
Right.
If used the right way. I just had to stop cursing like 7 years or so ago because I didn't want to write cursing. I wanted to write cursive, but not cursing.
There's a big difference.
So speaking of writing, I wrote a bunch of jokes. I'm doing the Opry tomorrow night. It's just risky to go and do a bunch of jokes when you've never done them before, all at once, and with a crowd that isn't there to see you. Because when people go to the Opry, they go to the Opry to see whomever shows up. It's not that they're there to see somebody else specifically. Some of them are, some of them aren't.
Yeah.
Some are just there to see the brand. And so I walk out on stage and I have all these new jokes.
Oh no. Are you taking some of Gillis' jokes?
What if I just go up and do all of his acts?
The whole skit.
Yeah. So I have all these jokes. Like I wrote a whole part of a set on being lactose intolerant.
Okay, as relatable.
Yeah.
Because-
let me read you
Okay.
a couple of these things. I don't care. I'm not touring, so I don't care if I even run a joke. But one of the jokes is if I say it exactly as it's not going to play. So I talk about like being allergic to dairy and being from the South is like being a cowboy. Wait, hold on. I talk about I'm allergic to dairy, and then I say I need like my notes because I haven't even practiced these, and I'm going to go up there and do it tomorrow. How I'm lactose intolerant and being allergic to cheese and being from the South is like being a cowboy allergic to his horse. Like,
Yeah.
it's that kind of vibe.
Okay.
And it was like, I used to take great pride in not being allergic to anything. Now I eat a slice of pizza, my body shuts down like it's filing for bankruptcy. So I wrote all these jokes, right? I used to say no allergies like it was a personality trait. Now I'm the one asking if there's hidden cheese, like it's like it's a lactose ghost haunting my enchiladas.
I like it.
So it's a lot
I like
of that type stuff, but I just can't do a bunch of it. I can only like pick one. My best hope and then pray it works, because if it doesn't, I got to pivot out of all of it because I don't feel as confident in the rest of them. And you can't miss 2 or 3 in a row.
Do you go in with a backup plan?
My
If you have to pivot, or you like
my
okay,
backup
more
plan,
jokes,
my
right?
backup plan is to go to jokes I know work.
Okay.
And so if it doesn't work, because inevitably when you do new jokes, some of them won't work, but it's not because the jokes are bad always. Sometimes it is. Mostly it's because you didn't like pause at the right time. There's some wordplay. Maybe you stumbled, or the crowd. It really is that. But I did one where I was talking about fantasy football. That's why I bring this up. Because my wife will have her friends over and they will plan a night where they talk with intention, like a purpose. Like they just are going to connect. Like she'll have a friend come over and they'll sit in the living room for like 2 hours and talk about, how you're really doing. But if we do that, that's weird. And so we have ways to do it. And I've talked about this on the show. Like I can't call up Eddie and be like, hey man, Thursday, 7 p.m. want to come over and feel some stuff? And then, good, thanks.
That's a good one. That's
Well,
a good
Hey,
one.
that's a keeper.
I like that one.
Okay,
Yeah,
good,
I
thanks.
like it.
And I'm like, so instead we have to like sneak in emotions like through a side door, and we'll be like talking about fantasy football. I'd be like, hey man, I'll trade you Travis Kelce for Saquon Barkley, and also my dad never told me he was proud of me.
So I mean, it's kind of true.
That's good. Yes,
But
yes.
it's so yes, right?
Yeah.
It's so true.
And like I've talked about that for a long time, and even in that way, but I've never written a joke about it. But what's tricky about that is I would love to try it at the Opry because I'm not touring, But if they don't laugh at that, I think it's just because it's not a fantasy football group.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's a sports thing. If I'm like, I'll trade you Travis Kelce and Saquon Barkley. Also, did your dad ever hug you? You know, I think if they don't get the Kelce and Saquon of it,
Yeah.
they're not going to even appreciate the joke. And not even that it's the greatest joke ever written. And the reason I'm talking about this is the Shane Gillis stuff. Like, that's like super inspiring to see him go up and people be mad at him.
Yeah.
And keep going. But also, I'm playing the Opry this week. And so, yeah, I wrote I can't do a whole new set up there because I won't. Because I'll go up and it'll just be a nightmare. I'll be forgetting stuff. Jokes will miss. But I'm probably going to throw in a couple new ones like that. You think I should do the fantasy football one or they won't get it?
I like the fantasy football one.
Yeah.
I think there'll be plenty of guys in there that'll understand that.
Yeah.
I have a joke that I probably won't do because I don't think it would be received well. Where I talk about how lactose intolerance, like I deserve a handicap sticker.
Oh, dude, I love that.
And then I go, you know what? Because I talk about it being covered by the ADA, but I don't even that. I think that's too inside. That's the Americans with Disability Act.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah.
I said, okay, but if I don't get a handicap sticker, maybe I should just get preferred parking at pizza places.
There you go. That's
nice.
That's good.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know the crowd there.
But all of this stuff, because I have these are all the jokes I've written, right?
Oh, wow.
All
A
of
lot
that.
of jokes.
I would have to go out for like 3 months and do all of them 17 times in order to feel what is exactly right.
Yeah. What's your time slot? Like, do they tell you?
Everybody has 12 minutes.
Oh.
Like everybody has 12 minutes.
It's a long time.
But I do have my guitar as well. And what I've done in the past is I just take it up there. And I've played the Opry before and never even played it. Like I walked up with it.
That's awesome.
And everything was working so right. And I never went to the guitar because the jokes were just crushing.
That's legit.
And I think people were like, why did he have his guitar on? He never went to it.
Never sang a song.
It is. It
Did
is.
you like strum? Like you should like strum it, act like you're gonna play,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
go
hey.
right back to it.
And
I think that's
after-
great.
The
Yeah.
problem is I'm trying to remember jokes, man. Like I'm doing all that.
Okay.
I did at the very end be like, oh yeah, I had this guitar. I guess I never played. I go ding, 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 and then
There
walk.
we
Good night,
go.
everybody.
Yeah, there you go.
That's how you
Perfect.
go.
But that wasn't the joke. I had the guitar in case.
Yeah.
You should do that with the other instruments. Just walk out with a tuba.
Just
Yeah.
walk-
I like it.
I'm just holding a trombone the whole time, and I never even get to it.
That's pretty funny.
Pretty good.
I wanted. I'll wrap on this, but I wanted to do this segment. I say wanted. I never actually tried to do it because of the dedication it would take. And I think I mentioned it in a couple of interviews with artists where I wanted to go up and be a part of the band and not have my instrument plugged in. But like, let's say they gave me a trombone. Like I went up with a trombone and I got in Zach Brown's band. I never said I was in it. Heck, I could wear a mustache, whatever. And we just recorded from the crowd, me just faking the trombone like crazy. Not so much as stealing the show. Not so much. But just being in the band,
Yes.
faking it and like feeling it, right?
Yes.
Just feeling it. Even for a song. Like I think that would be so funny. But
You got to find the right artist to let you do that.
I have a few friends that would let me do it.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't want to pay the money to go. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to pay the money to fly. And that 3-minute bit's gonna cost like $800 to do.
Gosh, that's funny though, man.
So there was another. Oh, now I'm just doing this. But there was another bit too. Where I told Eddie, I said, "Hey, what we should do? We should go and open for an artist and not say it's us, not with guitars, and like sing a cappella. Nobody knows it's us. We try so hard to sing the biggest song. Like we go and we try Adele songs. We're trying as hard as we can. Never mind. And they're like we are literally trying.
like trying our best.
Yes.
But it'll never be good.
And
though.
it's all
Right.
Whitney Houston, Adele.
Right.
It's
Gotta do Whitney.
even with the backing track. Like we can play like a karaoke track. And we only have like 12 minutes, but we go out and just try as hard as we can. We don't shy away from it. We attack it. And then we're like, thank you. And just see what we have cameras on the crowd the whole time.
See, this is where your obsession with making people uncomfortable, seeing how long it can last.
Oh, yeah.
As a comedian,
That's
comes
true. I didn't
in.
put that together, but yes.
But that's perfect. But that's a great way because nobody's ever. Well, I'm not. Nobody has ever done that. But something like that
I would
would be
Duet of
great.
Shallow. Oh,
We,
that'd be great.
yes.
Yeah.
And we're not. And I say again, we're not trying to be bad. We're actually trying as good as we can, but we're
Yes.
also really trying because you can hide from it. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la, and you can be like, oh, that's a C+. But if we're like, sha-la-la-la,
Yeah.
dude,
we got to do that, dude.
it would be so fun. I just don't want to pay the $800 to get out to some city to do that.
12-minute bit.
Yes.
Hey,
That'd be hilarious.
I found a tuba on Facebook Marketplace. I'll go get it tomorrow.
All right, thank you guys. Now we can hit the music again. We will see you guys Monday. Monday, special guest. You want to tell them?
Heisman hopeful.
Oh, that's good. You slowed out on
That's
Heisman.
really good.
That's
Come
good.
on.
You can say who it is.
Diego Pavia.
the Vanderbilt quarterback. He will
That's
be in Monday. We just finished the interview, and they brought me a helmet.
Yeah, bat.
Yeah,
That's
that
A real helmet.
And he signed it.
Yeah, it was awesome. So that'll be Monday coming up. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys. Bye, everybody. Bye, Daddy.